All but 18.
Almost 18. Okay.
Come on guys, Coach Joe here at the Mecca Garage Strength with the owner, Dane Miller, Ghostface Miller, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we just got over how he got that crazy name, but I'll put a link down here if you go check him out on Instagram. But if you guys didn't know, honestly, I think this is probably one of the best gyms in the country in terms of Olympic lifting. You do throwing athletes, all that kind of stuff. But kind of just give us a rundown of like who you train, what you do here, and then we're going to see this crazy place.
So every athlete that comes in here is going to be throwing base, Olympic weightlifting, football, a lot of wrestlers that'll come in. So it's sort of like any strength sport that you can really think of outside of the strongman realm and the powerlifting realm, which we're trying to slowly build into, but mainly everything's going to be based around Olympic weightlifting, wrestling, and then throwing.
So who are some of the big Olympic lifters that you've coached or you have here that you train all over the place?
Haley Reichert, she's been on a senior Pan Am team as a junior lifter. She's made 3 junior world teams. Juliana Riado, who just got the American Junior Female Weightlifter of the Year, and she got second at Junior Worlds last year. Jordan Wissinger, who's on the senior world team last year. We have Aaron Amos, who's one of the best up-and-comers in the 64K division. Jacob Horst, who's a senior national champ. He's been on a couple different junior world teams. So we've got a whole bunch of studs. I've had an international team member every year since 2013. So
and he's gonna have Joey Szatmary, future Olympian, in the snatch. But yeah, so just show it. This area is badass. So this is just predominantly for weightlifting, right?
Yeah.
Give us a rundown on how many platforms you got, how's the story behind this place.
So we've got 13 platforms and then 2 jerk stands. And you know, when we started, it's sort of ironic. When we started, we literally started with 2 platforms at my parents' garage, and that's where the name came from, Garage Strength. And it's we sort of fell in accidentally to being an Olympic weightlifting gym. Is that I had one kid who was super strong, and he was a shot putter, a wrestler, and we just slowly sort of found out about Olympic weightlifting because I was a shot putter growing up. And I always like to tell this story. The first comp I ever coached at was the day of the 2012 opening ceremonies for the Olympics. That was the first competition I ever coached in.
Wow.
By 2016, I was coaching at the Olympic Trials. I was coaching North Vardanian at the Olympic Trials. So sort of like a really quick development, but it's, you know, this is pretty sweet. We've had DJ's Shuttleworth is clean 205 here.
I think I competed against him.
You did?
Years ago.
Yeah. Where at?
Pivotal?
Oh, yeah.
I think he bombed out.
Yeah, he bombed out Cleager.
Yeah.
That's his MO.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, I mean, this is crazy, dude. So how many square feet is this part of the gym right here, you would say?
This is about 2,200 square feet, I think. Maybe a little bit smaller, but it's sort of like what we've tried to do is piece as many different things into this room as possible. But again, this is like all weightlifting, a little bit of benching, because if my throwers are here, I want to see what my throwers are doing while I'm also coaching the weightlifters, because I'll coach throwing, I come inside, and when I come inside, the weightlifters will be warming up, and my throwers will be beginning their lifting session. So it's like, I still want to see how they're doing while I'm working with the O-lifters. So.
And then real quick, I'm always intrigued by equipment. So what kind of bars do you use for the Olympic lifters?
Dude, we don't. I think that's one thing where I'm like pathetic, where we'll just buy anything that's cheap. Anything. Yeah. So we've got Alico pound bars, which I actually got from the guy from Pivotal, because they're selling them, because they like shut down. I've got WorkSand, I've got DHS bars, I've got these crappy X training bars that just hold up, because we beat the shit out of our equipment. You know, we've got, on a regular basis, every platform in here will be filled. So it's like, I've got throwers that'll drop 220 kilos on a jerk on the jerk boxes, and it'll bounce off and it'll bend the bar. And it's like, I don't want to spend $1,000 on a Alico bar when my idiot throwers are going to be bending the bar. So
this is pretty cool. You got best of both worlds. This amazing mural. So you started, or before this location, Dane had a barn, right?
Yeah.
So infamous, and that's
this. Yeah. So this is, if you would go out, this is a mural. If you would go outside, you would see.
This was the barn.
Yeah, this is actually the barn. This is in our barn. And you would leave the barn, and it would be, you'd see the shot circles, you'd see the pigs. So I had a guy paint this when we were still at the barn. I don't know. I just think it's sweet. And when we moved, we ended up bringing this with us so that it still had a little bit of that raw feel to it. I think the gym still does have a pretty raw feel to it.
Oh yeah, I love it. And I don't think we mentioned this, but this guy is the owner of Earth-Fed Muscle.
Yeah.
Duh. So I'm sure you guys maybe heard of Earth-Fed Muscle. But all right, so let's check out this place because I like this room. This room's cool. So what do we got going on in here?
So this is the sports performance side. So anybody who's a football player, wrestler, swimmers, basketball players, soccer players, they'll come in here. And it's mainly, this is like where it's mayhem. Like if you come in here, most days actually we just looked at the analytics yesterday, between 2:30 and 7, we're averaging about 30 to 35 people an hour.
Wow.
So it's like packed in here. That's where it's even the banners that we have on the walls, that's all people who've won state titles, who've been All-Americans, NCAA champs, Pan American champs, Olympians, anything along that line where it's like a whole bunch of different, I don't know what you can even call it.
Accolades.
Yeah, accolades, accomplishments, stuff like that. So it's like, it's like
a gladiator room in here, dude.
That's the thing. It's like kids. I have kids that Pete Renda, third at NCAAs, and I remember the one thing he said. He's like, I can't wait till I get a banner in it. And I think that's cool. Is it's like kids will be in here when they're in 6th, 7th grade, and they'll just dream about having a banner up on the wall. Because then you're going to be up with these guys that are Olympians, like Tim Nedow's an Olympian, Nick Wazowski's a 2-time world bronze medalist.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like they're getting to that level where, it's something cool to strive for.
So in terms of dumbbells, how many dumbbells do you? What do your dumbbells go up to here?
We go up to 165 pounds.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. So
you press them?
My best is I did 13 with the 165.
Okay. Wow.
With a shitty lockout on my arthritic.
Foreshadowing. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, long story, or I'll try and make it short. Is most of these dumbbells at Penn State. So when I was still at Penn State my senior year, they built a whole new weight room, and my strength coach was like, "Yo, they're getting rid of the dumbbells from the white building." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go up to the salvage." It's called salvage. Go up see if they're selling them. So I go up and I said, "Are you guys selling all your dumbbells? All these dumbbells?" Guy's like, "Yeah, we're selling them." He's like, "Make me an offer." I'm like, "I don't know, dude. $100."
What? No way.
He goes, "I'll sell them to you for 90."
No way.
So I bought all these dumbbells.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was 2007. So
gosh.
I got a screaming deal. The hardest part was I didn't have a car, so my buddy had a Prius, and I transported all these in a Prius to my apartment, and then eventually we.
I hope that guy watches this video because I'm just here to tell you, buddy, you got ripped off. All right, so we got some platforms back here. We got belts, all sorts of good stuff. Decline, football bars,
Yep.
ropes to climb.
Any bar you can think of, we pretty much have. We have bars that we pretty much made that we made.
Oh, check these out. Yeah, you got like camber bars. Cool.
So these are like a shot put base bar, and we'll also use it for grip training.
Where'd you get this stuff?
I found a fabricator who I was just throwing ideas at him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll make anything."
That is crazy. You're not gonna find something like that.
And that's like good grip work for our wrestlers. But we actually just put these little walkways in so you can see back into this back room, and the platforms we just put out. These 4 platforms this past week because we got to a point where we'd have only those 4 in the back, and we'd have 5 or 6 kids on a platform at a time, and it was just mayhem. So now we put that in. We got the rope climb, which our rope climb record is actually Pete Renda has it with he climbed the rope with a 100-pound dumbbell around his balls.
Here. So when you started, I'm always intrigued by like people that you maybe like watched or looked to kind of base things off of. Like who were some of your like say like mentors when you're kind of starting to do this? Like who did you look at or what did you base stuff off of?
I'll be honest. I think for me, because I trained with Dr. B, Anatoly Bondarchuk, I trained with him, and he's my training partner was Dylan Armstrong. He got third at the Olympics in 2008, and our training group trained in a garage. And at that time, YouTube was really just starting to pick up, so it was about 3 years old. And there was a guy named Ross Enamite, and he ran RossTraining.com. And I just started emailing him when I was a senior in college, and then I started emailing him when I was training with Dr. B, and he would get back to me, and it ended up being, what sort of ended up coming back around is that I was training a boxer who ended up training with one of his boxers, and it's sort of like he was like the guy I would talk to all the time, and I don't even know, I think he's still doing a pretty good job, but it was Ross Edomite from RossTraining.com, and then basically, again, like I told you before, I live in my own little world where I just make shit up and just roll. I don't really, I would say, I'm trying to think if there'd be anybody else that I would look up
Kind
to.
of reminds me of like when I was doing it was Zach Evanish was the guy.
Yeah, so like.
So he's like, it's funny now because like I talk to Zach and him and I are friends, but like this reminds me of like if Zach was here, he'd be like, fuck yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
And he and I talk pretty regularly. I would say I started to see his like underground strength training stuff early, and I would go back to it, but Ross was my main guy, but Zach
just has that feel to it.
Yeah, he definitely inspired a lot of the shit I'm doing.
So what? So in this room, we got some logs. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah,
I'm scoping it out. We got logs. We got T-bar. We got leg press. I'd say, what are your 3 most favorite pieces of equipment that you have in this gym?
In the whole gym or in here?
Yeah, like just in your whole gym right now.
My platforms, because I'm such a diehard weightlifter. I like the single leg squats because I've got a lot of football players, a lot of wrestlers. My gliders for throwing. Dude, and I just say, I know this is lame, but just a bench. I just, any O-lift, any bench press, any single leg squat, that's what we're doing a lot of.
And then we got, sleds and turf in here. So how big is the whole inside gym that we're in right now, total square footage wise?
It's almost 10,000 square feet. Right. So, and even in this room, what's cool is like we'll roll the turf up and we'll drop this net. So if it's raining or snowing outside, my throwers can train inside. We can train in here, and even though it's cold and the lighting's terrible, it actually adds like this little cool environment where it's
I'm feeling it, man. I feel like this is where champions are made, honestly.
Yeah,
like, you can just feel it. You can just sense it like in the place. There's a lot to be said by that. And then you have stuff outside, which I'm sure we'll show some B-roll of the outside stuff, but you got like stuff going on outside here as well?
Yeah, we have a discus, we have a whole discus net that we throw into, and then we have 3 shot circles. So that's where, if I'm not back here with the throwers, I'm outside with the throwers, and then I'm in the front room with the weightlifters. So that's where everything happens. Going upstairs, and you think about my dream is like this regional training site for weightlifters and for wrestlers and for throwers, and to have, my other businesses all on site. So right now this is like our office for EFM, and I know it looks terrible, but this is mainly because of me, because I'm just a disheveled idiot who's constantly trying to figure out different business stuff. But this is our room for EFM, our meeting center, which this is like this real sweet old farm table, and then Chris, who's a co-owner, has his office in the back. So I think it's pretty cool because it's like we have a supplement company that's sort of like our support system, and then we have the gym on site, and it's like there's no gym in the US that has the weightlifters, the wrestlers, and the throwers that we have, and then has a cool
it's like a whole compound essentially.
Right.
You have everything going on for everybody to get taken care of. It's
Right.
pretty wild. Like you don't have to drive anywhere. It's like he's trying to do it all so it's here, which is insane, but it's super cool. So it's like you show up to work and you got everything going on, man. Yeah, that's dope. But yeah, man, I love it. So how long has it taken you to get this whole, like from when you started till now, what's the time length of where
10
you are?
years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Damn.
10 years of just
non-stop, dude.
saving tons of money.
Yeah, and you got a family, you got kids. So I guess I always like to ask this question, and then we can kind of wrap up with this video, is like, what's your advice to somebody who says, like right now, like I know someone's watching this and they're like, I want to do this, right?
Don't do it.
Yeah. So like, what's your like your tip right there for like someone like? 'Cause I think there's maybe a distorted reality of how hard you have to work.
People will say this is. I had a kid come up and he wanted to do an intern, and he followed me around for a day. So I'm getting up around 4:45, 5 o'clock, and I'm going home at like 8:30. And then when I get home, I'm going to be up till 11 just doing work at home. And I think that I'm lucky my wife is so supportive of everything, and she sees the dream, she sees the vision. And I think that that's the whole thing for me, is that I've always had a really good vision. I've always had like a good I just go. I just ship my brain out and work. And I think that's the biggest thing is like I thought it would be easier than it was to get to this point. And same thing even with Earth Fed Muscle. We thought we would blow up within 5 years, which we did, but your reality is like we're gonna be a $25 million company, and even when I bought this place, people were like, "Oh man, you must be killing it." But it's like, dude, you're constantly just putting money back in, and where I'm proud about is like, dude, I never had a loan until we bought this place. I never had for EFM, we never had any loans, so it's always been like. Spend money, make money, save it. Spend it, make it, save it, and that's where
the means.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like people want to know, dude. I live in an 800 square foot house. I don't have a TV. I don't have a fucking computer. I don't have. My house is heated by a wood stove, and that's making those financial decisions and living that lifestyle has helped me get to this point with the gym. So.
That's the truth bombs, folks. So I just want to say thanks for Dane having me, checking out his gym. There's going to be more videos that are coming out, but real quick shout out, plug yourself, like where can we find you social? Everywhere, just give it out real quick.
So if you go on Instagram, we're at Garage Strength, or I'm personally Ghostface D Milla. And then on YouTube, we're Garage Strength TV. Facebook, we're Garage Strength Farm. GarageStrength.com. And then, of course, at Earth Fed Muscle. That's where I'm so bad.
No, that's good. So we got a lot of stuff planned. I think my arms are going to explode at some point. Then we're maybe going to do some Olympic lifting stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. So make sure you like, subscribe, head over to this guy's channel, and follow him and everything. Cool.
Peace.